Well, hello and welcome to another video. Things that's happening in this world is just mind-boggling of the escalation of the it's just hard to really explain how I feel about things that I've seen happening that I just can't wrap my head around that it's actually happening. This world is just falling apart. Something that has been around for years and decades. They say, well, don't go to that state because they will tax you to death. Just never move there so you don't have nothing to worry about. You get taxed more in certain states than you do the others because you live there, because you moved there. Now, I've seen in the news where there's a state that is going to tax you if you decide to leave. What? They will tax you not only if you move there and live there, they will tax you if you try to leave. Now, of course, there's certain guidelines and circumstances and all, but it's a thing that you will be taxed if you leave certain state. And it's not very hard to figure out which state that is. It's all the way on the west. The ones that making some crazy laws over there. Things that when I was growing up that was illegal, that I would never ever think or believe or dream of that it would ever become legal. Just like marijuana. It was looked at as a bad thing and illegal. Don't matter how much you consume, how much you have on you. It's just all illegal completely. There was no exception. And then it came to be legal if it was medical prescribed. And now it's even got further. Now you can buy these gummies that's supposed to be legal in all 50 states. It just amazes me how quickly, of course, it's been 30 years when I was in high school, but still 30 years is really a short period of time. And the same state that wants to tax people, certain ones, if they decided to leave the state, which is California, they also passed another bill that it is legally or legal for you to solicitate standing on the corners for prostitution. Now, of course, prostitution is still illegal, but to stand out there on the street corners is legal. Doing the act is still going to get you arrested. That's not a good thing. Riding down the road and give them the authority just to stand out there the way they dress and all. If that's the life that they want, fine. But don't put it on display for everybody else to see as they ride down the road. It's just like the alphabet groups, the rainbow. They can do whatever they want. As long as they don't involve me, don't try to push it on me, include me, it's all well and good. But when you draw that line, I'll be pushing back. I've had to do that a few times. And in another state, they tried to solve an issue of people having paper license plates. They said people have been making them right at their home, printing them up, stick them on their cars and drive around. It looks legit. And come find out, they don't have insurance. They don't have a driver's license. They don't have registration for the vehicle, whatever the case may be. So they can look and try to blend in with the rest of the drivers out on the street. That's all well and good to do away with paper tags in your state to prevent that from happening. But there's a big flaw in that aspect of thinking. Now you're just going to have them same criminals going out stealing legit plates off of other vehicles and putting it on theirs. They ride down the road. You won't be able to tell if that license plate belongs on that vehicle or not unless you call the authorities and they can run the plates and see what vehicle it's supposed to be on. So it's actually going to make it even harder for the authorities to really find them vehicles, because going out and driving and see paper plates, you can call them. You got, say 10 cars in front of you and you see 2 of them that's got paper plates. You call them in to see if they're legit. It's easy to spot them. But if all 10 of them plates on them cars are the metal and legit numbers and all that, you won't know which one to call in because they all look like they're supposed to be where they are at on the vehicle. And you don't know if it's matching that vehicle or not unless you call every number in. Or another way they're going to get caught is if they take the toll road and the camera takes a picture of it and their system takes that license plate, matches it with the owner, and sends them a bill for the toll. Well, then that owner is going to say, no, I wasn't there. That's not my vehicle. Yes, that's my plate, but no, that's not my vehicle. So they're going to be caught then, maybe. They will have a picture of the license plate. They will have a picture of the vehicle. What if they take the plate and put it on a different vehicle shortly thereafter they go through the toll? Then they are looking for the wrong vehicle. Or what if they just discard that license plate altogether? They'll never be caught because they don't know what vehicle. It's a red Mustang. Well, we all know there's a lot of red Mustangs. You can't really identify unless you get a picture of the person and try to find them. So each time you cover up a loophole for a criminal, they're going to find another way around, still able to commit that crime one way or another. That's just the way they think. And that's the way they work. It's just like the credit card. Back in the day, it was the magnetic strip on it. It's easy to read that magnetic strip. Then they came out with a chip where the magnetic strip is still there, so it's still vulnerable. They came out with the contactless or the touchless, but the magnetic strip is still there. It's still vulnerable. But each time they came out with another security method to put on the card to prevent fraud, the criminals found a way to get around it. Now, I do believe it's MasterCard that's going to do away with the magnetic strip altogether in somewhere around 2025 or something like that, I do believe. I may be a few years off, but I know it's somewhere around there. But it's still going to be vulnerable because the prepaid cards that people buy and use, MasterCard and Visa, they all still going to have the magnetic strip on it. The SNAP or the food stamp cards, they do not have the chip or the wireless or the contactless or whatever you want to call it in the card itself. It's nothing but magnetic. And that's been ramping up, as I've seen on the videos on YouTube. And they claim that the government does not want to spend the extra few cents per card to put the chip in it. But you got companies like, if I got here, like, I don't know if I got, I don't think I got mine. No, I don't have mine with me. I would say I have my Uber card with me. Companies like that has a chip. They're not big as the company. I mean, big as the government, but they can put chips in. So why don't they want to put chips in? No clue. Why they don't want to spend that little extra money to secure the money a little bit more, not 100%, because like I said, the crooks will find a way around it. It's just nothing but another card with a chip in it. It don't matter if it's a SNAP card, food stamp card, MasterCard, Visa card. It don't matter. There's a way around each and every aspect of the card. And soon as they come out with a different way or a different method to put in the card, you sure bet bottom dollar that the criminals are going to figure out a way to get around it. And about the Texas paper license plates, it's not going to go in effect until July of 2025, and it's the House Bill 718 if you want to look it up. And a lot of people complain that I've seen and heard on YouTube that they complain about things they have to do that they don't want to do, but they don't understand that sometimes in life you got to do things that you don't want to do to get to the things that you do want to do. It's like I don't want to take a second job, or I don't want to do no gig work, but I want a new car. But the job I have is not paying me enough. You got to do some of them extra things to be able to get things that you do want. I've seen a few gig drivers out there on YouTube that's doing like one app at a time. He started having problems with the car. He said, well, it's time. I need to buy a new car. I need to trade this one in and get me something more reliable. And the next time I saw his video, it was like a month later, he was doing multiple gig apps at the same time to just ramp up his financial income. And within a year, less than a year, he had a different car. Sometimes you have to do that extra or do things that you don't want to do to get to the point where you want to be. If you want a new car, you can't sit on your couch and say, I want a new car, and poof, it's actually going to just show up. You got to go out there and, make it happen. That's just the way it works. But so many people complain about things that there's no reason to complain about, and not willing to do what it takes to fix the issue that they are complaining about. They rely on other people to fix their own problems. Hate to tell them, but they're going to have a miserable life if they keep going in that direction. And hopefully, people will learn it's best to have very few friends in your life that are true friends than having groups of people in your life as consider them as friends that only will be there when they need something. And it don't matter where you are, it's best to have very few that's actually loyal as a friend. Just like when I was falsely accused and held in the county jail for 500 some days. I didn't make too many friends. I think I had 7 people that I would consider true friends in there. And 80% of them was officers. And there was only 1 or 2 inmates there that I really got to know. I knew I wasn't going to be there that long because I knew what the truth and the facts were. It was just a matter of waiting for them to realize what they were. Wasn't easy. By God, it was not easy. At first, it was, for the first 2 months, it was okay, because it really has not sunk in of the longevity that this just may take. 6 months, 9 months, 12, 18 months. When it started getting to 6 months, it really started sinking in, like, how long is it going to take for these idiotic people to get off their high horses and look at the facts as they really are, instead of try to fabricate things and twist things around to make their ego and their record look better? Trying to put another, like the old Western, trying to put another notch in your handle of your gun. Well, not only they didn't get the notch to put in their gun, they lost their gun completely. They didn't even have any ammo when they got finished after that 500 some days. And they said, you can go home. I said, well, I told you that, a year and a half ago. You just didn't want to listen. Hopefully, they'll keep that information with them. I doubt it, because the way the attitude and being a butthurt person that they act like every time I saw them and heard them talk, that they will be more understanding and more willing to look at the facts instead of trying to put another notch in their handle on their gun for the next person they falsely accuse. But I'm not going to hold my breath on that, because I saw just the way their agenda, what they were trying to accomplish. They were trying to do everything they can to get a confession out of somebody. And I feel for the people that was not as strong as I am physically, mentally, mainly, that and determination that kept me going to where, like, I'm not giving up. You're going to have to go ahead and go through with the charges and everything, take me to court and put me in front of the jury and look like a fool, or tell me that I can just go on home. And they picked wisely and told me to go home. But for the ones that mentally is not as strong as I am, that gave in on their tactics to make them feel like dirt, low person of the society, make them to the point where they just about believe they actually did what they're falsely accused of by twisting the truth and putting them down day after day, where they just caved in and serving years, if not decades, for something that they didn't do. We see it in the news, 30 years later, 40 years later. I seen one that was 53 years later, released, found that they were not guilty, found the person that was actually that committed the crime. I don't care how much money you give a person for being falsely accused and locked up. You can't pay enough money to replace the time that they lost with the loved ones and all. You just can't give that back. There's no dollar amount that will replace that. Not whatsoever. That's one thing, and the most valuable thing in the whole world is time. You can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have time, you're broke. You can be laying on your bed with cancer and all, and the doctor says you got, months, 2 or 3 months. You can have all the money in the world. That money is not going to do you a bit of good. You don't have time. If the doctor had a magical wand and said, if you pay $1 million, we guarantee that you're going to live until you're 98. Well, that don't happen because it's not possible. If I had to choose having a lot of money or have a lot of time, I'll take time over money. Because if you got a lot of time, you can make a lot of money. You got a lot of money, you really can't buy time. Because eventually it's going to run out. But if you got all the time, then you can make the money. Sometimes you have to do, as I said, sometimes you have to do things that you don't want to do to get to the place that you want to be. You might want to be run your own company of being a plumber or heat and air or whatever it may be. But you don't like schooling, or you don't like working for other people because you want to be self-employed. Well, unless you got the knowledge or the requirements, you may have to do some of them other things to get to that point where you can open your own business. It will be worth doing them things just to get there if you really want it bad enough. And don't matter if people falsely accuse you of things, don't let that stand between you and your dreams. I didn't. And I'm glad where I'm at now. Here I am, not even, just a little bit over 55. Actually, I'm 57. And when I was 45, pretty much is when I retired because I haven't worked since then. I was thinking about getting back in heat and air and all, but the more I thought about it, I'm like, I don't have the phone number no more. I can't get it back. And pretty much I have to start over to get a whole new clientele. And the years it takes to really build that up, I would be working, 70, 80 years old. No, not doing it. So I decided then to find something that I can do, keep myself busy, and be able to travel. And if you watch my other channel, if you hadn't, you need to. Link to of it is in the description below this video. Entrepreneur Box, not the Heat and Air channel. That one's pretty much dormant. It's just there because I'm not putting any more videos up. But the Entrepreneur Box, where I travel and help other people to get their business going, or just travel just because I can. And other things I do just to keep myself busy. Life is hard enough as it is by itself. Don't let people falsely accuse you and have it to control your life. Control your own life. I mean, be bold at all angles with everybody in your life. Not just your friends, high school friends, your teachers, and your work buddies, whatever. I'm talking about being all out, building your life the way you want it to be. I'm talking about even family members. If it comes to rejecting or isolating away from your family members to be able to reach your dreams, if you have to move across the country, move across the world to another country to get your dreams, travel, go, do it. Don't let them stop you. And you don't have to have big material things in your life to make yourself happy. A lot of people think they need that. But if that's what they want and that's their dream, by all means, if they're willing to do what it takes to get that, then let them do it. But having all the material things will not make you happy. Not for everybody. Yeah, I can go out and buy, a new car every year. Take that one, trade it in, see what the balance, pay it off, and buy the new one, pay it. Just like I did this one. Trade in my van. What's the balance? Pay it. Next year, trade this one in. What's the balance? Pay it. Do it every year if I wanted to. But that's not going to satisfy me in any way at all. Having a new car every year. So what? It gets me to point A to point B. So does the one I got. If it just bellies up and quits, I go buy a new one. But I take care of it. Change the oil every 10,000 miles, like like the dealer says, opposed to the manufacturer, and they're the ones that's changing the oil. So if anything messes up, they say, "Oh, you didn't get your oil changed." I'm like, "Well, y'all the only ones that changed the oil, so it's y'all's fault." You got to set goals in your life and go after them, and don't let people put you down, criticize you, wrongfully accuse you. Don't let any of that BS stop you. Just say, well, sorry you feel that way, but you're not going to affect my life and my goals that I have. Nice knowing you. Goodbye. And move on. I've had customers when I was doing heating and air. I give them a price. And they said, well, can you do it for this? No. I got my prices. Everything's calculated in that price, what it takes to do the job correctly. I'm not going to cut corners. That's the only way I can drop it to the price that you want it, is cut corners. I will not cut corners, because you start cutting corners, then something happens, then they're going to blame you for cutting corners, even though that they wanted you to cut corners to drop the price. I would tell them customers, here's the price, take it or leave it. They said, well, I'll find somebody else to do it cheaper. Bye. And I had one say, well, you going to walk away from $1,200? Bye. Yes, I'll walk away with $1,200. I said it's going to cost $1,900 to do it correctly. I won't take $1,200 to do it, because it can't be done correctly for that price and be able to keep the business afloat. Because if you let them get you once, they're going to keep trying to get you, because they already manipulated your ethic of your ways. They think since they got you once, they're going to try to do it again and again and again. Not worth it. Nip it in the butt, they say, is Andy Griffith's show. Nip it in the butt and move on. Let them say whatever they want to say. Let them accuse you of whatever they want to accuse you of. Now, of course, I had one accuse me of something, and I knew didn't do it, and I told them that I didn't do it, and I had proof that I didn't do it, and told them how they can figure out that I didn't do it, but they wasn't willing to look into what I told them that it would take, and they just had agenda, and they were determined to fulfill their agenda, and it failed miserably. You're the one that's going to have to wake up every morning and face yourself in the mirror, not them. So you make yourself happy. You control your life, not them. Just like little things that you got to do for yourself. Just like my glasses here. I've had these, not these particular ones. These are my reading ones I use to watch, use on the computer. But these glasses here that I have, I've had these, I've been here at this home for almost 3 years. And I had these glasses when I moved here. And it was at least 3 years, 4 years before I moved, I got these glasses. So they're coming up on 7 years old. The only reason I got these glasses is my eyes were getting worse from the other glasses. I saw it getting real blurry. And then I moved up to these. And I said, well, whenever I see things get real blurry, I'll go get an eye exam and see how much that I need to move up to, the next magnification of strength. And I saw a commercial, was American Best. 2 pairs for $79.95 or $79.99, one of the other, $79 something. But I always like reading the fine print. And it says if your magnification, your strength or whatever is over this number, most likely that lens they use is not going to work. And I said, I wonder if mine will work. So I drove an hour to get to the town I was born and raised in just to get an eye exam. I mean, free eye exam if you buy 2 pairs for $79. I'm like, I can't beat that. So I went, got the eye exam, and they measured these. They said, the strength of these lenses compared to the strength of the lens I'm getting in the 2 pairs I'm getting is the very next one up. In their machine where they go from one lens to the next and see when it actually gets clear to you, it's like they got, say, 10 of them. These are on number 3. Well, they went to number 4, and that's the lens I need. That's the strength I need. They don't have anything in between. It's just the next one up, and it's like 0.1 something, like 1.3, whatever the next lens is in their machine. It's not like I have to go up 5 or 6, that like my eyes got a lot worse over the years. They said, you're just the next lens. And she said, well, how long you been? I said, it's been about, 6-7 years since I got these glasses. And she said, well, you're doing good, because most people, it's every 4 or 5 years they have to get glasses, and they have to step up at least 4 or 5 lenses in our machine of magnification for the new glasses. And she said, you just moved up 1, and it's been 7 years. But that's not really surprise to me, because my grandparents had very good eyes up in their older age, and my mom and dad too. I knew that my sight was not changed much, because I can drive down the road and be able to take my glasses off and still be able to see everything. I mean, I could see the signs, the letters, like if the top of the letters were like flattened off, they were kind of like haze light. I couldn't define that top of that letter. It was just kind of blurred into the whatever color behind it. But I can still see and read the signs as I ride down the road. I can look at my dash and be able to see all the numbers. It has that puffy blurriness around each number and letter, but I can identify each one without staring at it. I can look down and say, yeah, I'm doing 48 or 49, or I can look at the radio, the small print on it. I can tell what station it's on. But all the numbers and letters had that haze around them like. But when she flipped it to the next one, she says, she flipped it onto the one, the magnification that my glasses are now. She says, now here's the next one. I hear it click, and it's day and night difference. I saw the outside of the letters and numbers with a straight line on the edge of it instead of that blurriness. It just took it away. Now, of course, they don't make the glasses in-house. They said it takes up to 2 weeks. They said, we'll call you when they're ready. She said it'll be an 800 number. I said, well, I answer all the 800 numbers that come in. Usually I don't. But until I get my glasses, I will. And if I don't want to talk to whoever's on the phone, I can hang up just as fast as I can pick up the phone. But I got 2 pairs of glasses, and I didn't get progressive glasses this time. I tried them, and I just don't see where I need them. Now, when I was working all the time doing heat and air, I did need them, because I didn't want to take my glasses off and being up in the attic, looking on the side of the unit and say, okay, I need to read the model number. I put these glasses on and read the model number. Okay, take these off and put these back on and be able to read a number. And now, I didn't want to do that, because be my luck, I leave them glasses or drop them glasses, leave them glasses accidentally, or they fall out of my pocket or something. But my environment that I'm in now every day is sitting right here, which I got these glasses from Walmart, $9.99. I got some, let's see, I got 1.5 all the way up to 3. And I tried each one to see which one that I needed to be able to sit this far, roughly about 3 feet away from my screens, to see the letters clearly. And this works beautifully. And I put these glasses on. And at the top, it's progressive. At the top here is for far viewing. And at the lower, at the bottom, is for reading. Well, I rode down the road today and thought, I'm like, can I see my dash still by reading from the top? If I had no progressive and it just had a whole lens for long distance, could I still look at my dash and be able to still identify all the instruments of numbers and letters and radio and whatnot and all the buttons and everything? Could I do it? So when I was coming back home, I read all the dash equipment and stuff out of the top. So I went and got no progressive lens. I do believe I have to look it up, but I do believe I got one as the far distance and the other pair, two different colors, a black one, and I think I got a chrome, same pair, just the color is different. The black ones are for long distance for driving, and the other ones are the prescription for reading. Now, of course, these I can read. I mean, I can take my phone and I can hold it roughly a foot and a half away from my face, and I can read everything on it, and they're all nice and clear and crystal clear. But if I move it 2 foot or get it closer than a foot, it's blurry. So I decided to get regular long distance glasses and the other pair for reading glasses because it's more precise of what my eyes need. And the only place I really am is here in the studio, which I'll be using these reading glasses. I'll be here but I can read with these reading glasses. I'll be taking with me, and I have them in the car. That's the only two places I'll be, in my car or here at the home. It's not like I'm crawling under houses and attics, multiple places. It's pretty much here or car. If the car goes anywhere, it's going to be me because I'm the only one that's got license. So over these years, since they finally come to their senses and let me go, I live in a total different environment living. And I see no reason to have progressive lens anymore. That reason that I got it is no longer. I have them glasses on, and when I sit down here, I put these on. When I get up, I leave these actually here in front of the computer. I don't even take these anywhere. These always stay here. So I'm not going to lose them because I'm not going to need them nowhere else except here. Life changes. You have to adapt. Even though one of the salesmen in there says, well, if you're used to progressive, I would highly suggest you get progressive. I'm like, my life has changed. I'm thinking my life has changed. I don't need that no more. I was going to try to explain it to him, but no. He was just too tunnel visioned on sale. And I'm going, no. Nope. Don't want no add-ons. I come here, get the exam, get my glasses, and that's it. I'm not going to have no add-ons. Just go after the life you want. Don't let others control your life. Don't matter what it comes to. The career that you want, the glasses you want, but whatever it may be that you want in life, don't try to push it on other people as if that's what their life should be. They should accept your way of life. And you know what I'm driving at. We don't see no rainbow right now, but you know what I'm talking about. You can live your life the way you want. You can believe whatever you want, but don't push it on somebody else that disagrees with you, and don't try to categorize them as whatever because they don't agree with you. They have the right just as much as you do to believe what they want to believe. They don't push their agenda, their religious beliefs on you. Don't do the same to them. Don't try to push your agenda or your beliefs or your feelings or whatever onto them, what you think they should do. Everybody's their individual person. Everybody thinks different. Even twins will think different. So live your life abundantly and the way you want to live it. Now, if you do things and you want to do things that is against the law, then you're going to have to pay the consequences. They say freedom of speech. Well, you can't go in a movie theater and yell fire. Yes, you can. That's freedom of speech. Now, is there consequences? You betcha. Most likely, you're probably going to get locked up. But you still have that freedom of speech of going in there, yelling top of your lungs, fire, 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 all you want. That's your right. But understand, there might be consequences of doing that. If you want to put it as politically aspect, you can go in there and say, you go whatever, protest or whatever, and say, this person won regardless of whatever, or this person's going to be the best or whatever. You're going to get consequences of other people disagreeing with you. That's something you're going to have to deal with. But if you believe what you're saying, by all means, stand behind it until you are proven wrong. Just live your life that makes you happy. And if you, like I said, if you break the law, there's consequences, but you live the life that you want, that makes you happy. You just have to deal with where it takes you. Simple. But that's the way it goes. But that's all I have in this video. I know it's a long one. It says it's like 48 minutes long, but I just want to get points across, things that I've ran in my life, that I've seen, dealt with firsthand. You know, falsely accused, sitting in this nice little box here. But if you want to read more about how I dealt with the agenda that I was going against for 500 some days, feel free to get my book. Any major bookstore, you can purchase the book. Some of them will have them on sales and some others won't. It's only like 150 pages. I try to not drag on each subject or each point that I was making. I try to get to the point, elaborate on it a little bit, get the point across, move on to the next one. But I'm going to try and make these videos as often as I can, hopefully at least once a week. It's hard to, at sometimes, to really talk about the moments that I had to go through. Sometimes I'll get on here and it will take me 30 minutes, 45 minutes, hour and a half before I hit that record button. I know what I want to say. I got it written down, but just be able to relax and cope and calmly explain the ordeal that I went through. I can make hundreds and hundreds of videos from what I had to go through with this. And hopefully I'll be able to accomplish that. It's going to take some time because even though it's been quite some time, it's still not easy to deal with. I mean, just things through the day, hear the siren or see a police car, seeing somebody getting arrested, on the side of the road or handcuffed, I can be watching NCIS and sometimes I just have to get up and just go get more coffee and get away from the TV for a few hours. I just can't sit there and watch it. But I don't let it stop me. I just punch through it and keep going. And if you're having difficulties in your life, hopefully you'll be able to punch through and keep going as well. It can be done. You just got to want it bad enough. So until the next video, thanks for watching. And if you can, give me a thumbs up, share it with other people, hit the subscribe button. It helps the channel and get it out to other people. You don't have to turn on the bell notification unless you want to be notified each time I put up a video. But just by subscribing, it makes the channel grow, and giving the thumbs up makes it grow as well. And if you subscribe, when you log in, you'll see a little indication that, there's new content on the channel. Whether you want to watch it then or not, you don't have to worry about getting all these notifications if you've got a lot of people that you're following. You actually have to log in to see it. And if you got any thoughts or questions about anything that I said here today in this video, leave it in the comments. I read every one of them because I got every one to be held on hold until I read it. So I won't miss any. Because if I let them be posted, I may not get to it and be able to answer. But since they are on hold, I read them, approve it, then go over and actually respond to them. I wish I can respond to them before I approve them, make them go public, but it won't let me do that. But I get to read all of them that way. Thank you for watching. Go get my book. It's a good read. And it will show you how crooked the legal system really can be, and how hard it can make somebody's life that was falsely accused. See you in the next video.